Hi everyone. So today is the spiral line, and originally I had a whole bunch of things planned for today, and then all of a sudden I started doing the exercises before I got into it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not quite ready for that. So about 2 minutes before, I kind of just threw away my whole plan, and I'm going to wing this and do what I feel. So I'm explaining the spiral line. So this is one of my main compensations, what's going on, and it's a lot of people. So I'll explain what it is. So this is the line that starts at the back of the head here. It makes an X on the back. It spirals around the stomach to the outside of the leg, through the arch, back to the outside of the leg, and then up, straight up the back. So like I said before, these are fascial lines, which means that these are the lines that all the muscle fascia are connected to, so you can move as a unit. And that's why when you move one area, it affects your foot, it affects your hip, right? It affects your neck, because everything is connected. So I'll explain. So this line is the line that it starts at the back of the head. Okay, so at the back of the neck, let me fix my hair, sorry guys. Okay, so it starts at the back of the head here, and it makes an X, right? So probably an X where my draw line is, right about here. And then from there, it swoops around, comes to the front, crosses over to the hips, goes to the outside of the leg, crosses to the inside, and then comes back up the outside all the way up the back. So literally, it's the shell that spirals the body. So where do you see this in people? So you see this compensation. So I'll show you what it is. For people that are dominated on one side and always hold something on one side. So people that use tools a lot of times have spiral lines. Okay, when you hold your phone across your body, spiral line. Purses, and also when you're sitting and you kind of see that side. So take a look at me. So if the spiral line comes to the back across the body, it's this. It's when I collapse, it's that this rib comes through and is connected to this hip. So what does it do? It shifts my body. Same thing here. Shifts my body. And actually, you can see that when I stand, and this makes a big difference. Like you can fix this line, you can start rotating the other way, you can start using your core differently. You can fix a lot of problems with your feet, with your hips. So I'm trying to get even to the camera. Okay, so there we go. So this is kind of how I feel even, but it's not. My right shoulder, if you actually look, is closer than my left shoulder. So it's because I'm tight on the spiral line from my rib to my hip. So if I connect it, I'm not shoving my shoulder blade back, I'm not lifting up, I'm literally pushing off of my left foot and unrotating myself. So I'll show you here. So this is me pushing and unrotating myself. Right, and this is the ribs I want, the even I want, and everything. This has been a compensation of mine for a while, so I'm going to dig right into it. It also up the back. So if I set my spiral line, you'll see as I push out with my hips and I start to open up the back of my leg, I can start finally building my back a little bit because I can finally start coming into it. So here we go. And there, right? So this is like the posture that eventually I'll want to create. First of all, let's tackle where my main issue is. And the main issue is at the back of my neck here, that it comes down, it's this. It's that my right arm, and also like, this is one of our main, because what do? We hold like 30 pounds in this hand, and then we do everything with one hand, pop our hip, right? If that is the most shortened spiral line ever. So that's exactly what I've been doing for a couple years. So where do I feel it? I get kinked right, not at the neck, a little bit on the side, but right here. So my shoulder blade right in here, I feel like I can just move this and it's a huge knot for me. So this is key because it's not my actual shoulder blade. This is my shoulder blade. So if I bring my hands across my shoulder blade here, spine of the scapula, I don't feel anything. It's when I get into the ribs here that I feel something. And that's why with this issue, a lot of times, if you have a spiral line, people always want to do stuff with the shoulder blades. It's not the shoulder blades at all, okay? It is the ribs that are causing the problem. So for me, I'm going to take the ball that I have, and I'm going to dig right into these knots here to release them, and then I'm going to try to move it down. So let's see if I can find it. Yeah, right here. And like, this is like one of those light up spots. So today I'm going to use the wall. I had the table here, but. So what I'm doing is I'm on the spine, okay? The X is across my back, and I'm finding that knot. I'm allowing it to move, but I'm also trying to push off my left leg and rotate into it. Go back down a little bit. So do this a couple times. So right here, like, I really feel I hold it. I'll hold it a little bit longer by myself, right? So that way you don't get to see me. But it's almost like where I should have muscle on my ribs, it feels like I'm on bone. And it's pretty uncomfortable, but it needs to be filled out because my muscle needs to be built there in the back of my body, in the back of my ribs. Because like I said, when you want core work, what I've been doing is I've been thrusting my ribs forward and I want it nice and even. Good. So I got my shoulder blades area, and I'll kind of show you, right? Because if I relax, take a look at my right shoulder blade, how it goes in. But it's not my right shoulder blade. It's my whole body shifts. It's from my hip, from my ribs. That's shifting back. And that's creating my kink here, right? Where I'm open, and then it'll actually kink my arm and turn my arm out. So when you have shoulder pain and stuff like that, literally my body is coming away from my right arm. So that's the kind of side thing going on there. So what I'm going to do is roll that out. I'm going to do neck, and then I'm going to do a core exercise to kind of bring it all together. This is actually a really cool exercise. I thought of this about 10 minutes ago, just playing around. So hopefully you like it, because I don't know, it's really cool. Not this one, the next one after this one. This one is just getting my neck set. So this is key. For this line, you need the back of your body. You need the front working up, like I've always been talking about, the back working down. So a lot of times what happens is, you watch my head, right? As my head comes forward, my ribs will drop down, and this will cause my body to shift forward. So back is still working up. But if my head is, what happens is people with the forward head, they'll try to get out of this. They'll try to just squeeze their shoulder blades, but it'll cause kind of something like this. So there's no core support here. If I bring my head too far back, then I'll get rounded and my ribs will come down and I'll have like a little pooch there. And these are people that are locked. So for this, it's really key for me to get my head in the proper alignment with my body, because the back of the neck was one of the key functions of this. The line starts at the back of the neck, makes an X, comes around the body, and it finishes up at the back of the neck. So what I'm going to do here is I'm literally going to put this around my head. I'm going to allow myself to relax, allow myself to get pulled into my back position, and then lengthen it out. So I'm pushing off my left foot to unspiral to my right, and you can see, right, even it out. And as I have this, I'm trying to go wide with the ribs and bring my head back so I feel my core. I'm going to breathe. So this is that function. the head should be working back, right? In proper posture, so I'll tell you in a second. Head should be working back, chest should be working forward, hips, stomach should be working back and in, hips should be working forward, right? Knees back, feet forward. So that's what you're looking at. So here, so I'm doing it too much with the body, so do it with the neck. Do a couple more. 3. So hopefully you can see. Good. And last one. So as I come into this and as I really lean back, I'm really feeling a stretch on my right side, but not just like the right side, like the right side from my neck down and down through here. And this is that length. Like when people are shortened in one side of their body, when they go to a chiropractor or whatever, they have a shift. They're trying to open up this space, but really I'm trying with exercise to get my fascia opened, to get my spine more length on the right side, right? And that's with the pelvis as well. So you watch my hips, and they'll come back and down. And I'm holding this position. So I'm putting myself into a position that is work for me to hold, that I'm not accustomed to. And holding that position is an exercise itself because it fires different tissues. So a lot of times if I find this position, have my clients hold it, and then try to have them move, they can't move very much. That's why like their sets and reps are 3 and 4, because it's work just holding themselves in that posture is firing different muscles. So this is the exercise. If you stay to the end of this segment, this is the exercise that I love. So I'm going to step onto a TheraBand. Perfect. And it's, like I said, the line's on the outside of the hips. So I'm going to push to the outside of the hips. Well, let's do it as a unit. So I'm going to push my feet into the floor to lift my front line upwards. And then I'm going to push out with my heels and grip with the inside of my feet, okay, to get my knees in line and to feel my outsides filled. And cross. And then I'm going to do my motion. Like I said, my right. And I want to do a couple, like I always have people relax, contract, right? Relax, contract. Feel where your body is, right? Feel where you're not moving. Try to get into it before you start. I don't just want my shoulder blades working. Nothing with the upper body. This is nothing with the arms, okay? This is, I'm lifting my body and getting my arms in the right position. Okay, so from here, hang on. Okay, so from here, I'm allowing the band. I'm going to tighten up a little bit more on my right. I'm going to allow the band to pull me, and then through my foot, through my core, I'm going to pull it back, and I'm going to hold. So I'm trying to get this connection from the floor, like so from my foot to the back of my neck, through my rib. Here, right? Let it pull me off to the side, up. Do a couple more. Pull me up. And hold, and then I'm going to do it on the left side. So I'm going to allow the left, tighten up on the left, and then I'm going to take this into a motion. So I'm going to allow it to pull me, lift up, allow it to pull me, and lift up. And just me keeping like my feet in this position and myself open. So there, so now I don't feel it in the shoulder blades, right? I feel it in my ribs. Actually, you know where I feel this? So bra line. So if I took my bra line around here all the way, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that spiral there. So now if I hold this, I can actually do some sidewalks, but trying not to let myself fall from the lines. Now go back. If you're on Instagram, you probably lost me for a second there, and then it came back. So I'm not, this is key, okay? This is key. I am not taking my shoulder blades and throwing them back to hold myself in this posture and work out. I am pushing from my left foot to bring my left hip forward, to open up my ribs, to allow my head to come back in a swoop. And then I am pushing out into the right and holding myself there. So look at the difference. I'm trying to relax. So as I bring my head back and up, my shoulder blades will come down, and I'm breathing. So this is me trying to do the exercise appropriately, right? Trying to open up the back of my body. This is me using my arms, right? And it just kinks my neck forward. So that's what I'm looking at for that. With the spiral line, the more I open it, the more I can get the back of my body working as well. And then also, the more I can get my rotation, because really, what does this call for? This calls for rotation on the left instead of on the right, which I'm used to doing. So that's the key there. This is my new line. Like I said, I'll post it. Today kind of changed just because the exercise weren't feeling quite right. And what happened was, tell everyone what happened was my kid actually got sick, and I don't know why. Like, you pay so much money for daycare just to have them sick half of the time, and then you get sick and the whole household's sick. So that's what's going. So hopefully, like, my little bit of congestion doesn't turn into anything worse, but maybe I'll get some sleep tonight. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.